presented with a fire on the balcony of a two-story wood-frame garden-style apartment. The fire has spread into the neighboring apartment's balcony and is threatening the building adjacent to the fire. From what I'm seeing, my initial plan is to have the crews momentarily hit this fire from the outside to protect the adjacent building, but then to stretch to the inside to complete the initial knockdown. I'm seeing evidence that the fire has breached the soffit and is extending into the attic. Once crews were able to make entry into the fire apartment, they were able to quickly knock the fire down. I'm seeing a good push of steam, which is what I want to observe, but I'm also seeing brownish smoke coming from side C, and I also see a momentary flame from the ridgeline. I need a set of eyes on the Charlie side, but at this point in the incident, I'm the only one that's available to do that. Once I make it around to the Charlie side, I see that the smoke is somewhat loose, which means it could be residual smoke from the original fire. I'm looking for smoke that's being pushed out under pressure. To me, smoke being pushed out is a possible indicator that the fire has extended, which in this case would be up into the attic. It's not a definite indicator, but pushing smoke warrants aggressive investigation into the attic area above the adjacent apartments. When I go back to the Alpha side, I share my suspicions with the fire attack officer. He believes that he has the fire knocked down and doesn't think that it's extended any farther. Unfortunately, several minutes later, the fire burns through over the neighboring apartment. This is a great example of why both inside and outside perspectives must be considered during a fire. The fire attack officer has a limited point of view because of the smoke and steam. On the outside, though, it was plainly visible that this fire was not under control. As other crews arrived, I ordered additional attack lines to be established. I wanted to get ahead of this, but I also needed to consider the possibility of structural failure due to prolonged fire growth. From the outside, a rapidly growing fire is observed. I needed to hear from somebody on the inside to find out what they're observing. When I asked the officer for a progress report, he informed me that the visibility was good and that they were experiencing no heat. They were in the process of pulling ceiling and getting water on the fire. This is important for me to know because now I know that my crews can operate efficiently because they are not being hindered by smoke or heat. If, however, the officer would have informed me that the conditions were deteriorating, I would have pulled those companies out and switched to a defensive operation. Once I've heard from the inside, I try to match that from what I'm seeing on the outside. Though the fire isn't under control just yet, I'm seeing evidence that it is being diminished. I see steam, and I'm observing water being sprayed from time to time. Also at this point, I've been able to assign a division supervisor to the Charlie side. I've assigned him a few companies and they're in the process of establishing attack lines for their side of the building. Though I'm seeing progress on the Alpha side, I want to make sure that Charlie is observing the same thing. He informs me that they have their attack lines in place and that the crews are making good headway against this fire. I informed the interior companies that it appears that their attack is being effective. Throughout the incident commander needs to evaluate the situation from different perspectives. At times, what the IC is observing is the most helpful, but at other times, the view from the inside is the most accurate. And yet again, at other times, we may find the missing piece of the puzzle from another person's perspective. It's only when the incident commander has a full picture can he or she implement an effective action plan. This requires an organized span of control and good dialogue with all the key players.